This conference will now be recorded.
Hi everyone, very good evening. Welcome to Amazon Web Services. So today in this lecture we are going to discuss the first AWS service Amazon EC2, which is Elastic Compute Cloud. EC2 double C, that's why it is called what EC2, Elastic Compute Cloud. Right. What is EC2? EC2 provides scalable virtual servers in the AWS cloud. Scalable virtual servers. I mean, you want to create any Linux server or Windows server or Mac OS, then you will go to EC2 and create it. But most of the servers, Linux, Mac OS, Windows only. But what is mean by scalable? Scalable means the resources are elastic. I mean, after creating instance, you want to change hard disk capacity or you want to change RAM or instance type, like everything is possible. That's why the VMs, I mean virtual servers, you can spin up. Spin. You can easily to spin the what? VM resources, and EC2 eliminates your need to invest in hardware upfront. So you can develop and deploy applications faster. So finally, what EC2 says, no need to maintain any front-end hardware. So you want to maintain Linux or Windows servers. So better to create in the cloud environment with help of AWS EC2. But what EC2 exactly? So simple point for creating scalable virtual servers. Then what is the advantage for the customer? So the advantage is to reduce massive investments. So no need to maintain any front-end hardware. And the next important thing, so with help of cloud virtual servers, the developers easily develop and deploy applications faster. So that is called what? EC2. Then what is the EC2 overview? So this is the architecture of EC2 service. So you want to create any EC2 service, I mean EC2 server. First, we need one AWS account. So this is called what? One AWS account. Within the account, we need to select one region and availability zone. I told you in the last lecture what is the zone and regions. A zone is a discrete data center to maintain AWS services and resources. So next, where to create AWS instance? The instance will make it under the one zone, under the what? One data center. But within the data center, I mean within the zone, you must select the word one EBS volume. But EBS volume is nothing but it is a storage. So like you want to install Windows operating system in your laptop, definitely backend hard disk is required. But generally in the physical language, I mean in the physical infrastructure, it is called what? Hard disk. But in the AWS environment, the hard disk is volume. So you have to call volume. So volume is nothing but device. And then finally, the instance is running in one availability zone. But how to connect and manage this instance? So in your laptop, we need to generate private key. I mean, while creating EC2 server, it is asking to create so the private key. So this is the private key. We need to attach and connect the what instance. So private key is nothing but what, like a your passphrase. I mean it is called what, your key, your password. So while connecting instance from your laptop or desktop, so you will use the private key and over the internet to connect AWS cloud and manage your AWS resources. So this is the what? AWS architecture. Okay. So now today I will explain how to create Windows instance and how to install application on Windows instance. And before installing Windows, so everyone must understand what is the instance life cycle. I mean any Windows or Linux or Mac OS, what is the life cycle of instance? So remember everyone, the first one is, this is the what, image file. I mean, you can launch instance from the AMI. AMI means Amazon Mission Images. So these images are pre-configured templates. Pre-configured templates are pre-configured images. So everyone can launch the instance from the image. But after launching instance means virtual server, guys. So don't confuse instance in the AWS language. Instance means virtual machine. That is called what, virtual server. So after launching instance, by default, the instance state is pending. Instance state is pending. So after pending state, the instance will goes to running state. Instance will goes to running state. But any running instance, if you reboot it, then again the status will be running. The status will be running. But if you stop the instance, then the instance state is stopped. That instance state is stopped. But any stopped instance, again we can start it. Any stopped instance, again we can start it. But any stopped instance or running instance, if you terminate, we cannot start the what, instance. I mean, terminate is nothing but delete. So we can terminate the instance any stopped or running instance, but any stopped instance we can start it. Again the instance status will be goes to pending and running state. So this is the what, the overall instance life cycle. Right. So now I will tell you how to create Windows server. So now let me explain what is Windows instances. So you know that, so you want to create Windows 2008 server or Windows 10 or Windows 7. So like any Windows operating system you want, then you will go for EC2 service and create Windows server. But remember, by default, the Windows server login username is administrator. So by default, username is administrator. And what is about password? What about password? So the password you are getting admin access, like we have some steps to get your password. I mean, after creating instance, accents and get Windows password, I mean what you have in downloaded key. Just now I told you in the architecture, like it is a what, private key. So you can upload the key and getting a what, password. I will show you practically, then it will clear. And the next important thing, port in the security group. So everyone must understand what is the security group. So security groups are act as virtual firewalls in AWS environment. Security groups are act as virtual firewalls. But what is this virtual firewall responsibility? So these firewalls should protect your instances. So these firewalls should protect your instances. So by default, the security group firewall rules are denied. I mean, so you want to connect virtual servers. You want to run any applications on the virtual servers. By default, every port is denied. By default, every port is denied. So until you attach the new rule. So like here, you want to connect Windows servers remotely, then you will use RDP is a protocol. The port number is 33810 client to access the instance. I mean, the user want to access Windows servers, you must add the port number 3389 in the security group of RDP protocol. So what is RDP? Remote Desktop Protocol. Actually, this protocol is used to connect remote Windows servers. Remote Windows servers. So that port number you should attach in the security group. Then the 3389 is allow. Allow means what? Yes, user can access the what, instance over the RDP protocol. So this is called what? Windows instance overview. Now I will show you how to create Windows instances and where to attach these port numbers and how to get a password and how to connect the instance. I will show you practically. Now, first, this is my AWS account. I told you how to create an account in the last lecture, and please be create everyone AWS account. Then here services. So services are like under compute. From the services under compute, the service name is EC2. This is the fast AWS service. What is EC2? Virtual servers in the cloud. So you want to create virtual servers in the AWS cloud, then go to EC2 service. Click on EC2. Then fine. So after that, here observe, this is the what EC2 dashboard. So from this dashboard, see, first we need to set up the what region. I told you for in the AWS account where to create your AWS services, I mean your resources. So please be set up one region first. So like lot of regions, more than 20 regions under AWS, you will be select any one region. But where is the best region? Here is the what Virginia region. Otherwise, you will keep it the what Mumbai is the region. So now I selected here Mumbai region. So then if I create any virtual server, my server is running on Mumbai region. But what is the region? I told you a region is a geographic physical location, but every region maintain availability zones. So these are the what three availability zones. I mean three data center. You can create any resource on you 1A, 1B or 1C data centers. But I will go for Virginia region because a lot of services are available in the Virginia, but this Virginia region is very big region and better to take practicals in the Virginia region, or you can select any one region, Mumbai region. Okay, so now I selected Virginia region. In the Virginia region, how many data centers are there? One, two, three, four, five, six. Six data centers are there. So that's why I have been selected Virginia region. But anything you can select, any region to select, all regions are supported. Okay, so now the next important thing, how to create virtual server. So now where to create virtual servers? So right now instances, see, if you click on the what EC2 dashboard, by default instances are what running instances 0. Is there any stopped instances? No. So volumes, I mean it is called what storages? No. So dedicated host, so I will tell you later what are these all options. So now here is the option instances. Instance means virtual server. So no instances running in my AWS account. So now launch instances is the option. Okay, so here number of instances. How many instances you want? Like, do you want 10 servers or 100 servers? Like you can select the word number of servers at a time to create number of servers. Then for testing, I need only one server. That's why number of instances one. Then what is the name tag? So what is the name of the instance? I will keep it, okay, this is I want to launch Windows server. That's why Windows. So win 2000 Windows 2019 server I want. That is the shortcut name I specified here, Windows 2019 server. So Windows servers editions are different and client editions are different. So client editions are like Windows XP, Windows 7, Windows 8, Windows 10. These are all are the what client side operating systems. But the server side operating systems in the under Windows, like Windows 2003 server, Windows 2008 server, to Windows 2019 server, Windows 2021 server, like these are all are the what client side servers. Sorry, server sides. Then I need Windows 2019 server. I mean Windows server. Then in the second step is, yes, which server you want to select here like that. Okay, so Amazon Linux server is there, Mac OS is there, Ubuntu server is there, Windows servers are there, Red Hat server is there, SC Linux, SUSE Linux also is there. Then now these are the pre-configured images, which server you want to create. Then select the word server here. Okay, I need Windows server. That's why I selected Windows here. So by default, Microsoft Windows Server 2022 here. Now I want to change the word Windows 2019 because I need Windows 2019. Otherwise, you can select Windows 2022. Anything you can do it. Okay, so now I want Windows 2019 server. Okay, otherwise you can select Windows 2022 server. Okay, I selected Windows 2019 server. This is the first responsibility. And now the second important thing, here we can select instance type. What is mean by instance type? Instance type means the combination of CPU, memory and storage. CPU, memory and storage. So generally, you want to purchase any laptop or desktop or mobile or anything, so definitely we need to select the what configuration. Which configuration? Okay, I need laptop with i3 processor with 8 GB RAM and 1 TB hard disk, or I want i5 processor with 8 GB RAM and 512 GB SSD. That is my configuration, and I required Dell laptop or Sony laptop or HP laptop. Like, you need to explain what you want. So then based on your requirement, so they will give you the what laptop. Same thing here, you want to run Windows operating system, how much configuration you want. So like here, that is called what instance type. So these are all of the what instance configurations. For example, if I select t1.micro instance, these are the what instance types. So t1.micro, then what is the meaning? Your Windows Server 2019 running with one CPU with 612 GB memory, with 612 GB memory. So now if I want to select, for example, t2.micro instances, then what is the meaning? One CPU, 1 GB RAM. One CPU, 1 GB RAM. Then I need like here it is called what different configurations are there. If I select X large instances, then what is the meaning? Your Windows Server running with 32 CPUs, 128 GB RAM. So like that, guys, don't forget, AWS supports even 12 TB RAM also. 12 TB RAM also. Even 4 TB RAMs, 8 TB RAMs, 12 TB RAM also possible. Okay, but remember, the free tier users, I mean, who are working on the what free tier, like 12 months free tier accounts, then here T2 highlighted, T1.micro is free and T2.micro also is free. So I have been selected here T2.micro. So what is the meaning? Yes, the instances running with one CPU, 1 GB memory. I mean your Windows Server running with one CPU, 1 GB memory. That is 1 GB RAM. This is your free tier. Free tier eligible customers, only one CPU, 1 GB RAM free. But in the real environment, based on your requirement, we need to select the what instance type. I mean, sometimes your customer saying, please be select like it is called what 8 CPUs, 8 CPUs, or maybe 16 GB RAM, or 16 CPUs, or 32 GB RAM. So now which combination? Okay, here 16 CPUs, 32 GB RAM. Then your instance running with 16 CPUs, 32 GB RAM. And one very important point, the instance charges based on your combinations. For example, your laptop pricing is completely depending on configuration. You want i3 processor with 512 GB hard disk. Okay, this is the 40,000. You want i5 processor with 1 TB hard disk. Okay, 64,000. Like, pricing is completely depending on configuration only. Same like here, the completely pricing depending on configuration. But the instance type by default t2.micro is the free tier eligible, one CPU with 1 GB RAM. This is the next option. And next very important option, what is the key pair? So I told you just now what is the key pair. So generally a key pair is a combination of public and private keys. So by default, AWS instance maintains public key, but the end user like you maintain private key. So how to download and create a key pair? Here is the what the instances maintain private key. So I told you this is the what private key, right? But this private key, how to download it? Now this is the step to download a what key pair name. It is a required. So how to create a key pair? Here is the option, create new key pair, right? Select create new key pair. What is the key pair option? Okay, the key pair name whatever it may be, you can select abc 123 xyz or anything, you will keep it. Okay, the key pair type is online. So online I specify, so the key pair name is online. The key pair name is online. Then which format you recommended? So remember everyone, the formats are like .pem format is there and a .ppk format also is there. But by default, the keypair format is .pem. PM stands for Privacy Enhanced Mail. Privacy Enhanced Mail. So then create keypair. So now the keyboard successfully downloaded. So this key contains, so that is encrypted data information. Okay, so now the key successfully downloaded with format of .pem. But now please be ignore what are the networking settings. So now the instance running with key pair name online. But now under networking settings, so please be ignore it. But later I will tell you what is this networking setups. Okay, then the next important I told you, what is that? Firewall. Just now I told you security groups. So what is the security group? So security groups are act as virtual firewalls for controlling instances. Controlling instances. So how to controlling instances with help of the what? Security groups. So first time you should be create new security group, and second time onwards you will use the word same security group for number of instances. So now let me create new security group. Okay, so by default it will create a what one security group with the port numbers. Okay, I want to create a security group with allow rdp traffic. So just now I told you, you want to connect windows servers, you must allow the what rdp, remote desktop protocol. Then who will connect this instance? Here we can set up the what security. So generally three options are there. Anywhere option is there, custom option is there, my IP is there. In case if I select the word anywhere, then this instance you can connect from anywhere in the world. Like you can connect from any network. That is the meaning of any network. But if I select the word custom option, then what is the custom option? Then if I select, for example, 192.168.10.0 by 24 network I selected. So then what is the meaning? Yes, only these network people can connect the what? This Windows server. So now I selected only particular people able to connect and manage it. So that is called what? Custom network. But if I select my IP, then what is the meaning? Only my laptop is eligible should connect and manage instance. So that is called what? My IP. But let me keep it anywhere address. Anywhere means what? Everyone connect the what? Instance. This is the first requirement. Okay, so you want to allow multiple port numbers like http 80 https, and like you can select the what different port numbers. But right now for connecting windows servers only rdp port number is required. So that's why I allowed only rdp traffic, remote desktop protocol, the port number 3389. Even if you forget to allow the word ports here, but after creating instance to manage, I mean you can edit the word ports again, no issue. Then the last step here, configure storage. So like this instance running with how much storage? That is called what? You need to write the what volume size. So by default, the AWS Windows instances running with 30 GB SSD storage. 30 GB SSD storage. That is called what? General purpose volumes. But we have different volumes in AWS. So these are all of the volume types. But right now only GP2, because in the storage lectures, I will tell you what are the different types of SSD, HDD, standard, and like that concepts I will explain that time. Okay, so now the storage capacity is 30 GB, but one more very important here the option. Free tier eligible customers can get up to 30 GB of EBS, I mean SSD storage. So don't create more than 30 GB storage, because 30 GB is more sufficient for the Windows servers, and if you create more than 30 GB, then AWS will charge it. Okay, so now I will leave it with the default option 30 GB. Then finally, here is the option to launch the what instances. Option to launch the what instances, right? So now launch instances. So now the AWS EC2 Windows server is being to create. So now successfully initiated launch of instance. I mean your Windows server is ready. So now instances So if you refresh the page, right. So now what is the instance name? Windows 2019 server. But after creating instance, it's running with what? Instance ID. This is the what? Unique name. So if you launch multiple instances, every instance have one unique ID. That is called what? Instance ID. But what is the state of the instance? I told you. After creating any instance, so by default, after creating instance, by default instance state is pending. But after few moments, the pending state goes to running state. So now if I refresh it, then instance is what? Running state. Then what is the configuration you selected? tt.micro. So tt.micro is nothing but instance running with one CPU, 1 GB RAM. One CPU, 1 GB RAM. The instance check is initializing. Initializing is nothing but it's still being to boot. I mean your instance is backend is what? Booting. Booting means rebooting. So now where exactly instance is running? It is running on US East 1 year zone within the Virginia region. But every instance running with one public DNS name and one public IP address. One public DNS name and public IP address. So you want to get instance details, then select the instance, then you will get the what details. So these are all of the what details for the instance. All are the what details for the instance. But now I will tell you some options. See, what is the instance ID? This is the instance ID. That instance ID, I mean the name of the instance is Windows 2019 server, but instance running with public IPv4 address. So this is the word public IPv4 address. So generally you want to connect AWS instances, you can use public IP address or public domain name. So either we can use public domain name or public IP address. But security reason, even the instance running backend is what? One private IP address also. But what is the use of private IP address? Later I will tell you in the networking environment. But right now, to connect EC2 Windows servers, you will use the what? Public IPv4 address or public domain name only. And what are the remaining details here? So what is the computer host name and what is the artisan IP address for the IP address? And then here it is called what is the instance details? Platform is Windows, and now AMA ID, which image you selected, and what is the image name backend you selected. Okay, I selected Windows Server 2019, but what time you have to done? I mean it's called what? The creation launching time. So the launch time is Thursday, September 15th today. So 7:29 is the what? Indian Standard Time. 2 minutes ago, you have been launched the what instance. So like every instance details are here. So now the instance is running state. But after few moments, the instance state is what? 2 by 2 checks here. I mean now still initializing is the what state? Initializing means instance is what? Backend is booting. I mean rebooting. Still it's called it is booting of the instance. Okay, these are the what details after launching instance. Now I will show you how to connect instance. I will show you how to connect instance. And before connecting instance from your laptop, so now you must have a what keypad. But just now I have been created keypad. What is the keypad name? Yes, it is called what? Online key, which is PM format. So that is called what? A privacy enhanced mail format. So key is ready. Then the second important thing, how to connect AWS server, because in my account the AWS server is running in the off-premises environment. I mean it is called it is running in AWS data centers. Now how to connect and manage that server? Because I have been created the Windows server on AWS cloud environment. This server is running in now cloud environment. Then how to connect this server? So remember, you want to connect any Windows server, not only in AWS, any Windows server, you will use the what? RDP protocol. I told you RDP, remote desktop protocol. So now that RDP protocol is available by default in your Windows. By default in your Windows. So that's why in the search option, type RDP. So what is the RDP? Remote desktop connection. So this is the protocol to connect the what? AWS Windows instance. And before connecting, so You know that by default the username is administrator. Then what about the password? So now first let me grab the word password of the Windows server. So how to grab the password? Here, see, already Windows server is running. So now the statistics, now it is called what 2 by 2 checks passed. I mean the instance booting successfully completed. Now instance running with healthy state. After getting 2 by 2 checks, then how to get a password of the Windows server? Then select instance, here connect option. Select instance, connect option. So click on connect option. Now here three options are there: session manager, RDP client, EC2 serial console. Actually serial console for troubleshooting. So this is RDP client because I have been added the port number 3389 RDP port number in the security group. So that's why I want to connect the server over the port RDP. That's why select RDP client. So now in case in your laptop we don't have any RDP protocol, then download remote desktop protocol. This is the option to download the what RDP setup. But by default RDP protocol in Windows, no need to download it. Then here is the option. When prompted, connected to your instance using the following details. What are the details? Either we can use public DNS name or public IP address. Okay. Then what is the default username? Administrator is the username. Then how to get a password? Here is the word password. Get password option. You have been joined your instance to a directory. You can use your directory credentials to connect to your instance. So now let me create a password. I mean, I want to grab the password. So get password is the option. So now key pair associated with this instance. I mean, you need to upload the what key pair what you have been downloaded. So now here browser option, under downloads, my key pair name is online. Then open. So I successfully uploaded my key pair. Then this key you need to decrypt it. So this is the option, decrypt password, right? So now your credentials are ready. What are that? This is the public DNS name. This is the username. That password is this is. So this is the password. So the very best option you want to use every time these credentials, then better to copy all these options in the notepad. And first time you must log in with what? This password. In case you want to change the password, then after login we can change the what? Your own password. Okay, but by default this is the what? Amazon password. I mean your security key password. So everything is ready. Now how to connect the what? AWS Windows instance. Now again in the search option, type RDP, open remote desktop connection. In case if you don't have, then what you downloaded, just open it, run it this. So now remote desktop connection. So OneDrive default RDP, right? Okay, remote desktop connection. Then we need to add the word public DNS name or public IP address. Okay, I copied public DNS name, enter, then connect. So now here it is called what? By default my computer login credentials are Razu and password, but more choices. I will go for with another account which is called what? Administrator. The username is administrator, then password is this is password. Copy the password, don't try to type it. Password. Okay, so this is the one, password. Then okay, yes, are you sure you want to connect that Windows server? The credentials is not found in the trusted certification authority. Yes, right here. So now this is the what? Windows server. So the backend, the cloud server is running, so that server successfully connected here. So this is the way to connecting Windows server. And just now you saw the option how to create Windows server. Now how to connect Windows server, this is the way. Right. I successfully connected Windows Server. Then, right. So what are the details of your server? This is the what Windows EC2 instance and instance ID, that server public IP address, host name. This server running with T2.micro. I mean 1 CPU, 1 GB RAM. It is running on US East 1A, but architecture AMD 64-bit. And how much memory is running? 1 GB memory. So what about your storage? How much storage is there? So now the instance running with 30 GB I selected. So now here the C drive running with 30 GB. Out of 30 GB, 12.8 GB is free space and remaining is what? Usage space. Okay. Even if you open this and try to open the what folders and everything, see this, because AWS even cloud instances offers good performance, even good performance. So that's why even this server running with 1 CPU, 1 GB RAM, it's perfectly running. But the physical servers, what are the running like? But even your server laptops are i3 processor, i5 processor, and sometimes you are getting slow. So compared to your servers like your laptops or any other things, virtual servers offers high performance. So this is the very good idea. Even the server running with 1 CPU, 1 GB RAM, the performance was excellent. Okay, this is the what requirement. How to connect Windows Server. Now, the next requirement in my company, like after the requirement is, the task is like, okay, so my task is create one EC2 Windows server. Okay, the server is 2019. Then second step is connect server with RDP. And the third step is install Microsoft MS IISR. MS server. That is called what? Internet Information Service. So already we have been completed Windows Server and how to connect uClear, and now the third one is how to installing Microsoft IIS server on this Windows Server. So now Microsoft IIS. What is the IIS? So now here web server. IIS is a what? Web server. So the internet information service IIS role in Windows Server provides a secure, easy to manage, modular and extensible platform for reliably hosting websites, services and applications. So simple point, I will tell you very clearly what is the web server. To hosting web pages, to hosting web pages. Okay, how to host web pages? You can install Microsoft IIS server in Windows, but generally in the Linux servers, Apache HTTPD, you know that Tomcat servers, like different servers are there. Same like in Windows, Microsoft IIS web server. You want to host any website, then go for IIS. But you must add another port in the security group. Remember, for connecting EC to Windows, remote desktop RDP protocol 3389. But for hosting websites, I mean the web server port number is HTTP 80. So in the security group, we need to add extra port number 80 because already 3389 is there. So we need to add another port in the security group, which is called what? 80. Okay, so now how to install this web server and Microsoft Windows Server, I will tell you. Right, so this is my Windows Server. Just open it. When one second, just Right. So now I will show you how to install Microsoft IaaS server. So now open start menu on your remote desktop. Click on start menu and then server manager is the option. Server manager. From the server manager, click on add roles and features. Add roles and features. Add roles and features. Then click on next option and role based authentication. Click on next. So all are the default options. Next, 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 finish. Because in Windows very easy. How to any application or anything you want to install. Next, 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 finish. Then here we need to select your role. Which software you want to install. I want to install web server IIS. So which is called what? Microsoft IIS web server. Then add features of IIS. Select web server IIS. Then click on next. Then click on next. Then click on next. Then next and install it. So now it's being to install. So now it will take some time. Just wait few seconds. Okay. Now installation succeeded. Then close it. Okay. Now your IIS web server successfully installed. But after installing IIS web server, then you will go to web browser and verify the what your instance public domain name or public IP address. See this. In the instance, either we will copy public IP address or public domain name and verify the what the sample test web page. So you don't see any message on the screen because so far I have been added the port number 3389 of RDP only. I didn't add port number 80 in my security group. So you want to access the web page, the web server port number should be added in the security group. So now this site can't be reached because the firewalls are blocked. Then how to add the port number? in the security group. So now I will modify the what my security group of the instance. Then first let me find what is the security group name of this instance. Now under security, see this, what is the security group name here? So launch wizard 1 is the security group name. So click on this. So now every security group running with two rules, one is for inbound side, another one is outbound rules. But by default, all port numbers under outbound is allowed. All out traffic outbound rules are allowed. But you should add port numbers in only inbound rules. So in the inbound, what port is already added? 3389 port number is already added. But I want to add one more port which is called what 80. So how to add the port number? Here edit inbound rules, under C inbound rules, edit inbound rules, and don't write the port numbers on outbound, and edit inbound rules, then add rule. So already RDP is added, then add rule, then which port you want to add, like the port number is HTTP 80. So now I selected 80 port number, then here anywhere of the address, so anywhere address, then save rule. So now two rules are successfully added. Then if I refresh the page, right, so this is the one internet information service. So in case you don't see any message on the screen, like you want to access the what website or any other things in the AWS environment, the first troubleshooting mode in the security group, the required port numbers are added or not, you need to check it. So once all ports are added, then you will check it the what configuration side. This is the first thing. Okay, so now in the AWS, in the Linux, I mean Windows environment, like in the Windows security, in the Windows configuration side, you want to attach any website, I mean you want to post your personal websites, web pages, then where to create your website. So I will show you sample website. Here is sample web page where to create it. So after installing IA server, so under this PC, like in the C drive, we have a inet pub directory is there, which is called what internet public directory. So under internet public, so www root is the folder. So go to www root. So these are the what sample web pages. So these pages are by default will loaded. So now I remove the what these pages, then verify the what your website now. So the same web page, just refresh it. No, forbidden access denied, because we don't have any websites in the location, the web pages are removed from the location. Then now I want to create a one sample web page here. So I mean the developers designing web pages, those web pages will keep it in the location of C drive, internet pub, www root location. But these folders are created automatically when you have to install IIS web server. Okay, now I want to create a one page here. So generally this responsibility goes to developers, but I will, for testing, I will make it a what one new page. So this is the what new text document. I'm writing the what HTML code here. HTML, like I want to write the what body, then it is a bg color is equal to red, then it is a text color equal to, which is called what blue, then close it. Then mark you is the screen, then it is called what font size is header 1. I want to write welcome to AWS. I want to scroll this page, welcome to AWS, then close the header 1 and close the mark you, close the mark you, then close the body and close the HTML. Now I want to save this page with HTML format in the location. So by default this is the text format notepad, right? How to save it? Under file, save as, so not text format, then all files. So now the page name is, please be keep it by default it will read index.html. So by default web page name is index.html. Then save it in the location of www. Save it. So now your page is ready, index page is ready. So now I don't need this. Okay, I kept the what one page have been created, one page index.html. This is the HTML documentation page. So now if I refresh this page, say this, yes. So but have been specified red color, but yet is called what green color. What is the mistake in the code? I want to modify this. Notepad, maybe bg color mistake, basic color. Okay, let me check again the same format. I think comma. Okay, let me check again. Okay, perfect. So the code mistake. So what is this? So this is called what, they we don't have any comma here, right? So this is called what, to hosting the what website. So like that in the real in the environment, so somebody is hosting the what web pages, developer we need to check the what web pages, like lot of things in the Windows servers. Then AWS engineer responsibility is what, need to provide one particular server for hosting websites. Your responsibility is the what, how to create server and how to provide the server for the customer and how to hosting the websites. Then we need to install the what, IaaS web server for the hosting web pages, right? So this is called what, Microsoft IaaS server. So in case you don't host any website, I mean you have any error on the screen, then please be check the what port numbers. Mostly mistakes are the what port numbers only. Then and please be check the what, this IP address in your mobiles or in your desktops. Please be check it. You will get your what, website. I mean web page. Please confirm everyone, and please run this IP address in your laptops or mobiles. 3.92.23.61, because this is the public IP address. We can access the what website from anywhere. I think you got it right. Right, fine. Okay, so this is called what, AWS EC2 Windows Server. So now after practicals, I mean once your practicals are done, so then better to delete the word server, because AWS offers 750 hours usage. I mean 750 hours is the free time of every month you will get 750 hours for Windows servers and 750 hours for Linux servers. So this is by not production server and not reusable server. So just it is a testing and practical purpose, so that's why I will delete my server. So you also better to delete after doing the what practicals. Once your practicals are done, better to delete it, otherwise it will calculate the what hours. So now how to delete the server and how to stop the server, even you can you want to reuse the server, then better you can stop it, otherwise you can terminate it. But where is the option to stop and start the what servers? So please be select the word instance and instance state options, like here stop instance and reboot instance and terminate instance. So what are the instance life cycle? If you stop it, again you can start the instance. If you reboot it, again the instance state back to reboot only. But if you terminate instance, we cannot restore. I mean we cannot start the instance. Okay, I don't need the server. That's why I will terminate instance. So here terminate. So now the instance behavior is first shutting down. After, then it will terminate. So now the instance is shutting down. So this is the way guys to launching AC to Windows server and connecting server and installing any application on connected instance. Are you clear everyone?
Yes, sir. Fine.
Good. So now this is the today lecture and tomorrow I will explain how to launch Windows in Linux instances. So I will show you how to create Linux instance and how to connect Linux instance and then how to installing web server on the Linux. So that is called what tomorrow lecture. Thank you guys. See you on tomorrow.